Hello, hello, welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content. Hello, guys, welcome to the Gameweek 28 deadline stream. We are kicking off a little early today. Yes, it's not always FPL late. Sometimes it is FPL on time. Sometimes it's FPL a little bit early, such as today. We've got 2 hours and 2,014-ish minutes until deadline today. A Friday deadline. A few people might be missing the deadline if they are unaware of the Friday deadline this week, but it is indeed a Friday deadline, and we are looking forward to it. It's the week of the fixture swings, I think a lot of people would probably say. There are a lot of teams getting fixtures that are a lot worse. Chelsea, for example. A lot of people will be loaded up on Chelsea going into this game week. Away against Arsenal next. A lot of people might have some Crystal Palace players in their team, maybe, as well. And various other teams that have poor fixtures. But hopefully you guys have been planning and you'll be ready to go for the new game week. There has been some injury updates and what have you as well that we are going to cover today. It's a little bit of team news, which is all good. The biggest of which is Florian Wirtz is going to be out for this game week, it would seem, and there's no return date. Arne Slot unable to provide a return date on Florian Wirtz, so that is a little bit worrying, considering that game week 29 is only a few days after game week 28. So you would kind of think if Wirtz is unavailable for game week 28, it's probably going to be pretty tough for him to be available for game week 29 as well. So you're potentially looking at 2 game weeks out for, any players with a short-term injury. Might actually be a multiple game week short-term injury, which is really frustrating. But yeah, I think good news for Szoboszlai owners, generally speaking, because Gomez is available, Frimpong is available, and we expect Szoboszlai to be playing a little bit further forward. So, I think I'm not saying that Frimpong's going to play this game week, but considering he's back in training, back available, then I think that's pretty good news there for Szoboszlai owners. Although, to be honest, any Liverpool team with Wirtz in the lineup is a better one, you would say, just generally. Ekatike would benefit from Wirtz being available, for example, but there we have it. Scott's in the chat says, any Collins news? Well, the news on Brentford generally, because the only way Collins is playing is if both right backs are out. And whilst it looks like Aaron Hickey doesn't have a great chance of playing tomorrow, Coyote has been in training this week, and it's going to be a late decision made on Coyote about whether he's going to be playing or not. But that kind of implies to me that Coyote's got a pretty high chance of actually starting against Bournemouth. That's Bournemouth against Burnley this game week. So, in that sense, Collins, it's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good, Brev, for Collins. So, yeah, bad news for me as a Collins owner, let's put it that way. I haven't made any transfers yet, guys. I'm still umming and erring about it, mostly because I don't want to take my first hit of the season, to be honest. I cannot... I'm really struggling with the idea of taking a hit. Hits are very rarely good ideas, and I'm really kind of battling with myself as to whether it's a good idea this week. My issue is, if Collins isn't going to play, or probably not going to play, I'm looking at Alderete as a backup, and that is not something I'm confident in either, really, with Bournemouth, the away fixture, which is a tough one, and Sunderland missing a few key players themselves. I'm just in a bad spot, really, defensively. Love Gabriel, love Hill, fine with those guys. Just that I need that third defender, and I don't have them right now. And then, of course, if I do make a downgrade somewhere, it's going to just cause me a benching headache where I'm probably going to bench Declan Rice. I don't know how happy I am with that one, to be honest, which is a bit frustrating. Although I suppose it'd be good to get some backup, because right now with Enzo, I feel like I don't really have much backup, at least backup that I'm happy with in my FPL team. So I'm still, we've got just over 2 hours until deadline. I'm still looking most likely to just take the hit, sort out my team, and therefore I'm going to be happy with my team for the next 4 game weeks. Sorted, just bite the bullet, so to speak. But I'm not happy about having to do it, and I am not. I acknowledge the potential for it to go wrong, and I acknowledge that I probably won't make up the points in 1 week alone. So, um, yeah, I don't want to kind of encourage other people to take unnecessary hits. I think it's just a case for me where actually I am lacking in that third defender spot, really lacking. Um, and that's not just for this week; it's for future game weeks as well. Where I'm not super happy to play Alderete and Richards in future game weeks. I'm not really happy to play Collins because I don't even think he is going to play. So do I need to just deal with that situation? And can I use that as an opportunity to change Enzo as well? Which I can with a hit. It's not ideal. What if you did Collins to Anderson? Yeah, I could do what Collins to Anderson, could do Collins to Chow, could do Collins to Kanate. There is other options. But the player I want for the next 4 game weeks is Virgil van Dijk. And I don't really like compromising on that. When I want a player, I want a player. I don't usually like just going for someone different. I'm not super convinced. I think Anderson is a decent pick. He's solid. And if I already had him, I'd be very happy. But to be honest, I don't trust Fulham defensively. I don't trust them defensively at all. So yeah, I think it's going to be a frustrating -4 for me. Yeah, lots of people already in the chat saying, "Shall I take this -4? Can I take this -8?" It depends if you have any cover. If your cover is players like Enzo, players like Alderete, players like Richards, players like Collins, then yeah, or maybe players like Dewsbury Hall, or maybe players like Stack, just a bunch of players that you just have no faith in whatsoever. Then yeah, I mean, sure, take a hit. But there we go. If you're benching Rice, if you make the move, could you not just sell him for 31? Yeah, I could, Scott, and I did kind of toy with that one a little bit. But one, I don't really need the money, because once I've done these moves, I'm just rolling until 31. And two, I'd actually like to play Rice in maybe some of these games. Like, I'd be looking to kind of maybe play him in 29. It's when Anderson plays. Yeah, City. So Anderson plays City in 29. So I'll be probably benching Anderson there and playing Rice against Brighton. So that's kind of the plan there. So just so I can keep Rice in my team. And Enzo, like, genuinely, if I kept him, I wouldn't want to play him in 31. I'd still be transferring him out in 31. I just cannot see myself playing Enzo in any of the next 3 game weeks. And then in game week 31, I'd be selling him at that point anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, that Virgil price rise was frustrating. He rose like a rocket. First, the predictor said Tuesday. Yes, I'm well aware. Then Monday, and then close to the end, it went to Sunday. I completely missed. It on Sunday. Otherwise, man. When am I going to make the transfers? Probably close to deadline. I guess. Although, to be honest, nothing really can change unless someone can manage to change my mind. Which you never know. I sometimes wonder if, conversation and rationalizing and stuff and chatting through things in the chat and giving different opinions on different things and may kind of, I don't know, trigger some kind of mental stimulation that might help inform my own decisions for my own team. Like, there is really no difference between making a transfer now and 5 minutes before deadline, though, to be honest. Would you consider a free hit? Definitely not, no. Free hit is going to be super powerful this season. Well, I mean, if everything goes as we predict, the free hit's going to be really powerful this season to use in the transition between game week 33 and 34, where the teams who will be doubling in 34 will be the same teams blanking in... doubling in 33 will be the teams blanking in 34. So we'll be wanting to make some nice quick transitions between game week 33 and game week 34. So yeah, for that reason, I think the free hit is just very well. It's kind of perfect for either game week 33 or 34, probably 34, based on current information. Of course, things can change, and we'll keep you guys updated with kind of the likely outcomes when it comes to those double and blank game weeks throughout the remainder of the season. because yeah, there's still a little bit to learn. Let's put it that way. Let's just move this across a little bit so it's a little bit better, a little bit more visible. Get the placement right. Oh my god, this is so techy. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll find out. We'll find out more and more as the weeks go by. Game week 30 will be the next big update, or before game week 30, we'll do a big update on this table and give you kind of the latest on the most likely doubles and blanks. You're gonna have to stay tuned for that one, I'm afraid, because we will not have any more information until the next round of FA Cup fixtures have been played. But if you are curious about all of this stuff, a few people have asked me what the latest. What's the latest in terms of doubles and blanks and chip strategy? Yeah, the Game Week 27 chip strategy video I made is still super relevant. If I was to make the video again today, it would have all of the same information near enough. So to catch up on all of the latest. And you can watch that over the weekend as well if you want. And that's the Game Week 20. Hang on, let me find the video for you just so you know which one you're looking for. So it's going to be the Game Week. There we go. Game Week 27 chip strategy video 9 days ago. Everything's still super relevant from that one. And then we'll do an update on that. I guess it will be in probably a week on Monday. Will be when we do the next video for that, I think. So a little while to wait, but just in case you're impatient, that's the video you're looking for. Game Week 27 chip strategy video. Beauty. Let's check out the chat. What you guys are asking today? What are the big questions of the day? Start Senesi or Anderson from Forest? I'd start Anderson from Forest, I think. Who would you start between Timber, Anderson, and Palmer? If I had to choose one, I guess Palmer. Number 2, I'd put Timber. Number 3, I'd put Anderson. Something like that. What do you think about Szoboszlai? I think he's not going to play right back anymore. No, he shouldn't play right back anymore. Wirtz is out, so he is needed in the attacking positions. We saw in the second half of Liverpool's game last week that Florian Wirtz was, that Szoboszlai was taking up an advanced position with, it was actually Jones who took on the defensive role. But I think because Gomez is available, because Frimpong is kind of coming back into the team as well, I expect Szoboszlai to be playing in an attacking role now for the upcoming game weeks, which is good for him. He's a decent FPL asset. He's reliable. He's safe. I think there are more exciting picks. I'll put it that way. I think there are more exciting picks. Players like Dango and Wilson, I would prefer to go for right now. Slightly cheaper. I think they have higher upside. And, you can kind of enjoy fixtures a little bit more. Whereas I think someone like Szoboszlai is, more of a player who, he's going to pop up with a free kick or a corner assist pretty much at random. So fixtures aren't super important for him. Open play is not really shown too much this season. Got a couple of super chats here. First from John Long says, "Hello, buddy. I have Wirtz, 3 free transfers. Creepy would come on for Wirtz. Thinking of Semenyo for Wirtz or someone else, or just roll to 4 free transfers. Wildcarding 32. I think you may as well use those transfers. I would maybe take that opportunity to move Krupi to one of Ekatike or Thiago, depending on who you don't have, and you can downgrade Wirtz in order to do that. So yeah, if you were to downgrade Wirtz into a Wilson or a Dango, or maybe you'd need someone a little bit cheaper, maybe an Elliot Anderson if you want to go a bit cheaper, that would allow you to upgrade Krupi Jr. So that's what I would do. I'd use 2 free transfers to downgrade Wirtz and upgrade Krupi Jr. because honestly, Krupi Jr. owners are not going to like this, but I feel like he is the player who's going to be sacrificed for Tavernier in this lineup for Bournemouth. Like, that makes the most logical sense because Krupi's been playing as an attacking midfielder, but he's not really an attacking midfielder. Ryan's been playing well. Adley's been playing well. Evan Nilsson's physicality is needed. The manager's already said, we need Evan Nilsson for his physicality, for his off-the-ball play and off-the-ball work. That Krupi Jr. has not quite shown yet in a Bournemouth shirt. So don't get me wrong. I think Krupa Jr. will still have a role to play, but he is now super rotation risk because Tavernier is the natural number 10 who slots straight back in here, you would say. Among other options there, there's quite a few players returning for Bournemouth at the moment, and yeah, rotation could happen sort of now more than ever. And we know with midweek games, Bournemouth aren't afraid to make some changes as well, to make some rotations. So yeah, Krupa Jr., particularly if you're looking to go into game week 31, you're worried about rotation in game week 31. You don't want to be, basically, because you don't have anyone to fall back on if your players are rotated. So Krupa Jr. would be maybe actually a player I'd be looking to sell. If you have Haaland, you're gonna probably have one of Ekatike or Thiago. Get one of them. Thiago's great if you don't have him already. Would be looking at him. Another super chat from Taster with the $7.99 dues. Thank you very much, Taster. 3 free transfers did Chalobah to Van Dijk, Enzo to Dango. Unfortunately, got Wirtz last game week. The plan was to get Wilson game at 28. Do I do it now, or is Szoboszlai an option? I mean, like I say, I do prefer the likes of Dango and Wilson to Szoboszlai because I feel they're a little more exciting, and I feel like there is an opportunity to hit the fixtures with these guys that I don't think you would get the same benefit from with someone like Szoboszlai. That's not to say Szoboszlai's a bad pick. I think he is going to be a pretty useful pick. But for the money you pay, I feel like bang for your buck. Dango, Wilson, these are your guys. So yeah, Wirtz I'm worried about for the next 2 game weeks, really. So I would potentially be looking to sell Wirtz for Wilson. If you have the free transfers, you can always get Wirtz back in your team later on if you're happy with his availability again. So yeah, that's what I would do with your team, I think. Chalobah to Virgil, great. Enzo to Dango, great. It might be time to do Wirtz to Wilson. And you never know, freeing up that money might open some options for you in the upcoming game weeks. Rob is here. Hi, Rob. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Patrick's in the chat as well. C-Mac with a super chat says, hi, would you play Zubamendi, DCL, Van der Ven, or Chalobah? Is none an option? I guess Calvert-Lewin, because at least, you're going to get a penalty taker. He's playing at home. Leeds do score goals. So I feel like I would play Calvert-Lewin. I know it's not the best fixture against Man City, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that Man City have imperfect clean sheet odds. Has there been any updates? There has. 12 minutes ago. Great timing as always. So projected goals for Leeds. 1.1. Like, not bad. Like, you could do a lot worse. I mean, I appreciate it's not perfect, but like that's not, I've seen worse goal projections from a team. So I think I would play Calvert-Lewin, C-Mac. I think that's what I would do. Patrick says Tavernier may be starting soon. Yeah, I think Tavernier will come in place of Krupa Jr. this game week and playing the attacking midfield position. Yeah, as we're kind of mentioning. Right, we have got another super chat here from Sharo who says, hello, triple captain Ekatike this game week or next? No, neither. Is neither an option? Yeah, certainly I think West Ham are slightly better than maybe a lot of people think. They have been improved. Like West Ham genuinely have improved recently, and it's not me just waffling. I mean, I'll show you the numbers. I don't like to kind of make claims without kind of backing it up. So if you'll allow me the opportunity to prove myself. But let's just go past 6 game weeks data. Yeah, that's 6 game weeks. What we see is, hang on. Let's just do expect. I kind of want to go on the defensive because I kind of do want to discount penalties as well, because I think that's probably a fairer way of doing things. But you can see that West Ham have been creeping up the table. They're no longer kind of in this bottom crowd of like high, expected goals conceded teams, high chances conceded. 79 shots against, 13, big chances against. It's kind of similar to some of these teams that are kind of slightly higher up on this list. You know, that's better than Chelsea, and it's similar to Liverpool. So West Ham, genuinely, they seem, you know, obviously they are in a bit of a relegation scrap. They are more resolute at the moment. They are improving. Their form is picked up. We only really need to look at their most recent fixtures and their recent results, and that is kind of reflected there. So let's go fixtures, and you can see 0-0 against Bournemouth, 1-0 against Burton, 1-1 against Man United. So even there, I know one's Burton, but you know, if we just take the Premier League games, that's 1 goal conceded in 2. Go back to another game, that's 1 goal conceded in 3. Go to the Chelsea game, obviously they conceded a couple of times to Chelsea. Fair enough. Chelsea are good attack. That's the game where is that the game where Cole Palmer got a million penalties? Oh no, it's not. Oh, that's when. Oh, I remember that game. That was a fun game, actually. I do remember that one. So Enzo Fernandez scored right at the death. But no, yeah, even the games before that, 1 goal conceded against Sunderland, 1 goal conceded against Spurs. So if you go back kind of the last month, you can see that West Ham are no longer kind of whipping boys. Now Liverpool are a great team, so you never know what they might be able to do. But I just think I think West Ham are maybe on the up, improving, and therefore I would be cautious to even captain a Liverpool player against well, maybe an out of form Ekitike, really, against a improving West Ham team. I don't actually think this is that good of a game for Liverpool. Like, it's decent, but it's no Burnley, it's no Wolves. You know, even games like Leeds and Bournemouth. You know, maybe Fulham. I would prefer to play these teams right now to Sunderland at home as well. I'd prefer to play these teams right now than West Ham, I think. And with no Verts as well, I just would not be looking to triple captain Ekitike. And you know, I'm not really looking to captain Ekitike either. I think this fixture is maybe going to be overrated by a lot of people because they think, oh, West Ham, they've been so bad this season. And maybe they've kind of quietly been improving behind the scenes. And actually, really, for Liverpool's run, kind of prefer it from next week. I kind of prefer Wolves, Spurs, Brighton. Like that run of 3, I like. West Ham at home is, you know, look, it's decent, but it could be a lot worse. We've got Lieutenant Cobra in the chat. That is that's a name I've not heard in a while. Daniki, carry my FPL right now. Let me know your questions, my brother. Let me know your questions. I haven't been called Daniki in a very long time. A very, very long time indeed. Ah, yeah. Time's gone by. Chris is here as well with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. Hi, Dan. I hope you're enjoying your Friday afternoon. Happy deadline stream. Now need help. Who do I start between Bowen or Hill? Tough. I think Hill is kind of blessed at the moment in the sense that he seems to pick up points every week, even when you don't expect it. Even, you know, when West Ham create a million chances. And what was the XGC in this game? 3.27 XGC, and yet keeps a clean sheet. That is wild. But yeah, I mean, Hilly is kind of the guy at the moment. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive returns. Really impressive stuff. I don't know how much luck is coming into play there, but surely at least some. Bowen, on the other hand, away against Liverpool, not super keen. But Bowen is a penalty taker, so that has to be taken into consideration as well. So, what would I do? I think I'd maybe play Hill. Because I do genuinely think Hill is kind of got that 4-point floor because of that. I mean, you're expecting him to get DEFCON. He's the best DEFCONer in the game right now. So, well, certainly among defenders. Like Elliot Anderson will have something to say about that, won't he? So, I'm going to say, Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that one. I'm gonna stick with that one and say Hill. Although I'm not sure. I'm not. You can never be fully sure, can you? I'm locking in Hill as my answer. Start Hill over Bowen. Happy. Happy. I think that's just the thing with the Def Connors, isn't it? Like, you can just play them pretty much any game week, and when they have a good game week, like, it's very difficult to bench them. And Hill is a very good Def Connor with a very good fixture. You can say what you like about Bournemouth's defense. I actually do think Bournemouth have been slightly better defensively when playing at home compared to away. I don't. Is that backed up by stats, or is that just kind of, have I made that up? Let's just go XGC here. So 0.44 XGC at home against Villa, 0.93 XGC as conceded against Liverpool at home, 1.25 against Spurs at home, which is not too bad, 1.13 against Arsenal. That's not too bad for Arsenal. Yeah, it is true. It is true. Bournemouth are better defensively when playing at home, by some margin, by the looks of things. I don't know how much we can derive from that pattern, but it's interesting, if nothing else. Serban here says most points in the next three: Nico, O'Reilly, Semenyo, and Burmo or Dango. In the next three. In the next three is tough. If you ask me the next four, definitely Mbermo or Dango, because not only do Mbermo and Dango have fixtures in Game Week 31, but they also have really good fixtures too. So I'm going to say in the next three, I kind of like Dango. Maybe even more than Mbermo, because I don't really fancy Mbermo against Tyrick Mitchell this week. And then the week after that, he's against Newcastle, which, you know, these fixtures are okay, but I'm not expecting any hauls here necessarily. Aston Villa at home is okay, but, you know, Mbermo's best fixture in the next four is 31 against Bournemouth. So if you're skipping that fixture, then I think that discounts him. Dango's amazing. Like, the fixture-wise, the next three are just incredible. Burnley away, Bournemouth away, Wolves at home. The reason I'm going to discount O'Reilly and Semenyo is going to be because I have to factor in rotation risk for those players. I have to factor it in. And given that, you know, we're going to have Champions League, we're going to have FA Cup, I wonder if they miss one of the next three. I don't know when it will be. And yeah, it's difficult to predict. So I'm going to say most points in the next three game weeks out of O'Reilly, Semenyo, and Burmo and Dango. I'm going to say Dango. Here for FPL is here. Welcome, welcome. Max Pike is here as well and says, hey Dan, 2 free transfers, 0.5 million in the bank. Thoughts on Timber, Enzo, and Gu to Hill, Dango, and Thiago for 1-4 hit. Does give me a benching headache, but can't afford Thiago without downgrading a mid. Depends how badly you want Thiago, really. I mean, there's no doubt that that trio of transfers improves your team. You could make an argument that Timber to Hill is a downgrade, but given how much money you save by doing that move, you kind of hope so. So in that sense, I like it. I actually quite like it for -4. If you really want Thiago, then go for it. But you are also solving issues that you know you're going to have to contend with by game week 31 anyway. So it's not like you're just taking a hit for the short term or anything like that. You're kind of preparing yourself for a little bit longer, which is nice. Any chance of Collins starting? I think unlikely at this point. It would require Coyote to have a flare up on his injury. And given that Coyote's been training this week, I wouldn't be holding my breath on that one. So I think the chances of Collins starting is probably like, if I had to put a number on it, 30%, which is not good enough for me. To the extent where I should probably just take him out of my starting 11 because I know people will ask questions. Like, oh my god, so is Collins actually starting? Nope. Nope, probably not. Probably not. Big question this week. People kind of debating Sanchez versus Dubravka this week. It is a good question. Genuine good question. Wonder if it's Dubravka time. The only problem is, a team like Brentford usually create a small amount of high XG chances, which doesn't really lend itself to save points. I'm buffering. What do you mean I'm buffering? For you or for everyone? So yeah, that is one concern about Dubravka against Brentford. Well, that said, Arsenal barely take shots either. They just kind of try and work towards creating chances, but often come up short. And thankfully score from there. Again, few chances of the game. So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Pick your poison. Sounds like no buffering. It sounds like JC, your internet may be the issue here. It is unfortunate, I suppose. Very unfortunate. Right. We've got another super chat from Beats by Njai, who says, Vits to Semenyo or Mbermo or anyone else. Njai spelt like that. Is that the it's like the Gambian spelling of Njai? Or have I made that up? We don't get much Gambian love on the FPL Mate channel. But anyway, Verts to Semenyo, probably not. To Mbermo, maybe. Honestly, if I had Verts in my team and I needed to transfer him out, or I wanted to transfer him out, I think I'd just downgrade all the way to Wilson or Dango. I'd do it all the way. Yeah, I don't think I'd go for Semenyo at this point. I mean, you absolutely could. If you have a lot of spare transfers, I'd be more willing to go for Semenyo. So let's say you have loads of transfers. Okay, maybe Semenyo. And Burma, I don't mind, but I don't know if this is the best jumping on point necessarily. I think I'd go Dango or Wilson. I think that's what I would do. And go all the way down and, just save that money. And obviously, you're going to have some opportunities for upgrades in later game weeks. I think a lot of people do fall into the trap of thinking they have to replace their players with players of a similar price. But you don't. You don't. This season in particular, we've seen cheap players outscore expensive players pretty consistently all season. So, yeah, I think we need to look less at price tags and more at, the player themselves. Would you keep Palmer in? Probably not. If it's my team, probably not. I just don't really see him as great value for money. But yeah, certainly you could keep him. KGF says, did you not make the Virgil or Dango transfers? Not yet. Not yet. Zimrich with a £5 super chat and a long-standing membership from Zimrich as well. See, with a 36-month badge. 4 free transfers: Chalobah, Rogers, Rice, Gue to Virgil, Wilson, Anderson, and Thiago. Ooh. Or Chalobah, Enzo to Wilson and Virgil carry 2. It depends how much you value Thiago. I think it's going to depend on that. If you really, really want to get Thiago in your team, then maybe you found a way to do it. However, Rogers is not a priority transfer out at all. Rice I don't believe is a priority transfer out either. Chalobah is, Gue is. But you also have Enzo as well, who you perhaps need to resolve. So if you do just desperately want to get Thiago, it's going to require 4 transfers to do it. I don't think I would sell Rogers. I think you'll regret that. But Chalobah and Enzo to Wilson and Virgil as a pair of transfers, I cannot argue with that at all. Like, that just looks great to me. I think that just looks great as two transfers. You cannot complain. You cannot argue with those two transfers. They're in isolation. Those two are great. Kagams is here. Start Anderson or O'Reilly. I have to start O'Reilly on form right now. He's scoring for fun from that midfield position at the moment. Yeah, he'd be a very difficult player to bench. Despite my love for Elliot Anderson, who, by the way, every time I watch him under Pereira, he looks more attacking and is still getting defensive contributions. Like last night, let's have a look at him, actually. I've not actually looked at the numbers. I knew he would have hit DEFCON. And I know he took plenty of shots in that game. But I want to see the exact numbers. Another worldy performance for him. 7.4. Oh, no, that's his season stats. But he is the highest rated player in that Forest side. So what I want to do is I want to find the most recent game. I want to go and look at... oh, he was the highest rated player for Forest, though. Surprise, surprise. We'll look at some of his numbers. So... one chance created, 3 shots. From range. From some serious range as well. From some serious range. And then 7 defensive contributions with a further 10 recoveries. So that would be 17 DEFCON as well. So 3 shots, a chance created, and a 17 DEFCON. It's just nuts. And that's in a loss. That's in a tough game and a loss. He's just a great pick, isn't he? He's just a fabulous pick. He really, really is. Max says, asking for my dad. He's 17 points behind me, but I'm jealous of his role transfers. Use 4 free transfers for Q, Rice, Timber, and Chow. Immediately selling Chow sets off alarm bells. I wouldn't be selling Chow, no. Got one of the better fixtures this week, and one of the better fixtures in Game Week 31. So Chow I would keep pretty much no matter what. Yeah, I mean, I've even considered buying Chow this week. Let's put it that way. But yeah, Gu, Rice, Rice and Timber, are they really necessary transfers out? Could you not do something like, I don't know, Timber to Hill and Gu to Thiago? Was that affordable? And if it's not, could you do Gu, Rice, and Timber to Thiago, Dango, one of Van Dijk or Hill? I don't think you need to make all of those transfers, is what I'm saying. I don't think you need to make all of them. Seems a little excessive. FPL Vince says Timber to Virgil for a -4. Nope, I definitely would not be doing that for a -4. Even for free, I'm kind of on the fence about transfer like that. And Mafon says, hey Dan, what's good? What's up, Mafon? Captain Thiago or Bruno? I think Bruno is probably your safer bet. Should we do a little captain poll? Well, I mean, actually, before I do, who are you guys captaining so I know who to put on the poll? Let me know in the chat. Type it in real quick. Who are you captaining or planning to captain if nothing changes in the next hour and a half for the new game week? Whilst you do that, Serban says Dango versus Gordon, bench for Anderson, game week 30, next 4. Then Dango. Right? Actually, Wilson has the week fixture in 30. Dango. Yeah, I prefer Dango to Gordon. Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of Haaland. I'm seeing a lot of Bruno. I'm seeing, in fairness, a little bit of Thiago. Seeing the Salah, Ekatike here as well. All right, that's actually quite useful, guys. So if I put, let's start a poll. Who is your game week 28 Capitan? Haaland, Bruno Fernandes, Thiago, or other? We'll put other for all of you crazy Ekatike guys. Pretty much, it's just Ekatike is the other option, really, isn't it? Right, let's start that poll. Oh, Salah as well, maybe, for some people. This cup of tea is so cold. Let's get rid of that. Go on my second little bit of drink. Right. Let's see what we got then. Richard says, "Can I buy Tavernier? If you like pain, then you absolutely can buy Tavernier, because with 2 game weeks close to one another, I think you're gonna have some rotation risk there. Some serious rotation risk, actually. Some early subs. Tavernier could go very well. Penalty taker, set piece taker. There's things to love about Tavernier. The fixtures are awesome too. Up until 31 at least. I don't really like that Man United fixture for them. But yeah. I would be pretty worried about minutes and rotation with Tavernier, let's put it that way. If you're going cheap, I prefer Elliot Anderson. Not that kind of cheap price tag. Who's the priority sell from Verts, Enzo, and Zubi? Good luck, Dan. Thank you very much. Who's the priority sell? It depends what your assessment is on Florian Wirtz's injury. If you think he is going to be out for the next 2 game weeks, then he's probably the priority sell. But that said, Enzo, injured or not, you're not going to want to play him. Zubimendi is just a crap FPL asset generally. It's not a right answer. They're all sells. I would probably sell Enzo first. Yeah. I'm going to say sell Enzo because I think Wirtz will come back into being useful. So if you have other players you need to remove, then I think Wirtz is going to go down the pecking order in terms of transfer priority. Zubimendi is a red card? What does that mean, Nate? Is a red card waiting to happen? That is a red card emoji, right? I think that's the most recent emoji I added. I wonder if I can add any more. I don't feel like we're due some more custom emojis, aren't we? In fact, I'm going to have a look if we can actually add any more, because it totally depends on the amount of members on the channel. That defines how many different custom emojis you can make, use, have active. Where do I find this information? Here we go. Emoji. Oh man, we need another 9 members to unlock a new emoji. Wow. We're going to have another 9 members though. Maybe I'll do some gifted memberships to help us on our way. That might be a nice thing to do, actually. Maybe we'll gift some memberships later. Right. Terrible option, in my opinion, equals red cards. Yeah, fair enough, man. Yeah, I don't know why people went for Zubimendi, but we have to move forward. He scored a couple of goals, didn't he, earlier in the season? And he's cheap. So there you go. We'll do a bench list in 30 minutes time, by the way, guys, just to make you guys aware. And we'll do the bench list. And hopefully it'll be a good bench list as well. Because I think there are some people with genuine bench issues. I know if I take my -4, I'm gonna suddenly have bench issues. And I will be benching Declan Rice over Anderson right now. Don't ask me why. You're gonna have to wait. A time traveler says Man City wins 4-1. I wouldn't be totally surprised to see that happen. Oh, you know, which is kind of why I'm captaining Haaland. What worries me is players like Semenyo and O'Reilly going off again. I'm sick of them. Sick of them. They're the only 2 players stopping me from being in the top 100k right now. Don't bench Virgil van Dijk or O'Reilly. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think you've got to play both of those guys. Ryan captain? Little too far for me. Little too far. Gabriel, Virgil, Hill, Gahey. Who to bench? Probably Gahey. Bench one, Hall, Sarr, or Elliot Anderson. I guess you bench the defender, Hall. Or that is that true? No, Ismaila Sarr. I would perhaps bench Ismaila Sarr. Declan Rice triple captain. Are you kidding me? I'm benching him, man. A lot of people selling him. You're triple captaining him. Bench list coming in 30 minutes time. -4 for Van Dijk. No -4 for Van Dijk in isolation. A few people asked about Timber to Van Dijk for a -4. A lot of people will do that move, but I will not be able to recommend it, unfortunately. Any 5.2 midfielders worth it? Not off the top of my head. I think Dewsbury Hall probably comes closest. But yeah, really we're looking at 5.3 and up. Those kind of more viable midfielders. As we kind of get towards your Andersons, your Taverniers, who he himself is very risky. Ryan is 5.6. Should I start Mainu or Ballard? I guess Mainu over Ballard. I guess. Hall to Van Dijk, Enzo to Dango for a -4. No, because I like Hall. I like Hall. If I had Hall in my team right now, I would not be moving to Van Dijk. I would just be like, oh, I like my defense as it is, blah, blah, blah. Everything's amazing. -8 for Thiago? I don't think so. I don't think it's that good. I mean, I hope he's going to score. I almost expect him to score against Burnley, but -8 is crazy. Collins is going to haul this week. He's got to play first. He's got to play, which is far from a guarantee. But you know what? Knowing the luck of FPL, the curses of FPL, the unlikely will happen, but you just got to try and make decisions based on what you think is the most likely things to happen. And the most likely thing to happen in my mind is Collins finds himself on the bench again. And you know what? Burnley away, I think Burnley will score at home against Brentford. I do think they'll score. It's not guaranteed, but I think they will. I think they will. Bench one of Hall, Hill, and Gabriel. Hall? Maybe Hall. Triple captain Semenyo, Haaland, and Thiago. I wouldn't triple captain at all this week. I mean, we are like 8 or 9 days away from finding out how likely it is that we're going to get an extra bonus double game week this season. So surely just wait for that at least before pulling the trigger on the triple captain. Sean Fong says Van Dijk and Szoboszlai or Van Dijk and Ekitike, which are the best? I prefer Van Dijk and Ekitike as a pair. And the main reason for that is because there are so many alternatives to Szoboszlai. You know, you can have Szoboszlai in your team, that's fine, but you could also have Dango or Wilson or Ryan or Anderson or Mbermo or even Rice. I could go on and on. There's so many great midfielders. Rogers as well. But instead of Ekitike, who are you going to get? Thiago, Haaland. Okay, you already have those players probably. Who's going to be a third forward? Raul, maybe if he's not rotation risk, but he is. Joao Pedro, but his fixtures are horrible. Watkins, but his form is horrible. Ekitike is kind of, your best option, really. I really do. I like the Thiago, Ekitike, Haaland forward combo, really, from this point until game week 30. Even game week 31, really. So, yeah, Ekitike, just because he has less competition in the forward position for alternatives. So, structurally, I think he makes more sense. Max. Don't ask me about bench boosts. Come on, you're a member of the channel. You should know well enough that I'm going to reject every bench boost proposal I ever see. Every deadline stream, as I always do. It's becoming a bit of a theme. People say, shall I bench boost this? And I say no every time. It happens several times a game week deadline stream. Timber to start. Timber, I don't see why Timber wouldn't start. I think his substitution last week, early sub, was just tactical. He was on a yellow card. Maybe could have done with a bit of pace in there. So, yeah, Timber should start against Chelsea. Yeah, Arsenal are going to put their best 11 out, and that involves Timber. Pretty straightforward. Bench one, Timber or Elliot Anderson. I would rather play Elliot Anderson than have triple Arsenal defense, I think. Sid Fisher says Enzo and Tarkovsky to Dangle and Virgil. Dango. Dangle? I mean, a good reason for me to buy Dango is that his name is Dan. Go. Dan, go buy. What's you doing? You're buying Dango. I think I made a stupid tweet about that once. Maybe I should find it again. I'm going to find it in a minute. Ready. Anyway, Enzo and Tarkovsky to Dango and Virgil for -4. Rice and Gu and Tarkovsky to Dango and Ektika and Hill for -8. No. Rice, Gabriel, Rice, Harlan, Munoz, Gu are my players that blanking day one. Oh, there's some work to be done here, isn't there? Enzo, yeah, I think I would do Enzo and Tarkovsky for Dango and Virgil, assuming you have no other options on your bench. If you have other options on your bench who are genuinely okay, then I wouldn't take a -4. I'd just do the Enzo to Dango transfer. You can always dip back in and do the Virgil transfer next week. And then here for FPL says previous plan in the bin. Sadly went early on Timber to Hill. Now Enzo or Verts and Gu to Wilson and Thiago for -4. Anderson would cover Verts if I keep him. Maybe just keep. If you can play Anderson, maybe just keep Verts. I like Anderson for this week. It's just a case of how desperately you want Thiago. But yeah, you could just do. You could do no moves, or you can do Enzo. You could you just do Enzo to Wilson? I don't know. Does it need a -4? That's the question. I guess having Gu doesn't help. Oh well. Nicole says, hi Dan, hope you're well. Did Rice to Wilson and Richards to Virgil with the exact money. Got nothing left. Plan to do Bowen to Raul in Gameweek 29 and Devaney to Anderson in Gameweek 30. Yeah, nice. Looks good. As long as you're happy with Raul's minutes, that looks good to me. Jake Rowley, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Welcome. Sean Fong says, how about the 5th midfielder for 5.4, Tavernier? Well, I mean, if you're looking for a 5th midfielder, Elliot Anderson for 5.4 is your guy. I think Tavernier is just too risky. I wouldn't choose to go for Tavernier unless I was kind of forced in that direction. Personally, at least. Jake says -4 for Enzo or bench and play either one of Munoz, Krupi or Anderson. Anderson, as in Forrest Anderson, I'd just play Anderson. I'd just play Elliot. If it's Elliot Anderson, I'd just play him, honestly. Yeah, pretty straightforward one, I think. What's the Verts news? He's out. He's going to be out. Well, I mean, like, expected to be out, at least. You never know. With 100% certainty. Right, I was going to do a quick Googling. Can I go on my own profile and do a search? Ah. Here we go. I last said that. Oh my word, almost a year ago on the dot. Okay, well, I mean, I feel like we probably need to bring that one back. Yeah, I think we'll bring that one back. Hearing Tammy Abraham stars, I do wonder. Anyway, back on topic. I am going to tweet that out though. I need to find the tweet again. I have a feeling I put something on in the comments. Duncan is here, said I'm selling Timber and Rice, so I'll have Munoz, Gabriel, Semenyo, and Haaland who blank. I was planning to sell Munoz for 31. Now I'm thinking if I sell Semenyo, no defenders, I won't have I like. Thoughts? I mean, yeah, it depends how much value you have tied up, doesn't it, really? In Semenyo. If it's a lot, then it's difficult, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to save that there. Joe's here. Best of luck this week, Dan. Hill Army, let's go. Yeah, I mean, the Hill Army is growing. It's growing. More and more converts at the top of the hill. So few new Hill converts this week I've seen in the chat today as well. So welcome. Jake says, was Fulham, Anderson? Ah, right. That's not as easy. Out of him and Munoz and Kruby, if -4, Enzo would have 8.1 back. I don't think I'd take a -4 though. I think you can still play Fulham's Anderson. Or we're still, you know what? Today, guys, we're going to have to find a way to differentiate the two Andersons on the bench list today. Which is going to be very, very difficult to do, as always. Right. Gary's captaining Semenyo. Fair play. Max is part of the Hill Army, top of the hill. Never says, God, it's such a challenge every week. I don't know how you do it. Honestly, most weeks I don't find too much of a challenge. This week I am finding a challenge, to be honest. I think, honestly, if you plan ahead and nothing goes wrong by pure luck, then things, typically are fairly simple, straightforward. There's usually an obvious couple of transfers to make each week. E. Anderson and J. Anderson. That is a possible way to differentiate them. Hang on, I'll think about that. I will think about that. Super chat here from the H. Taylor, who says Krupi and Enzo and Rice to Thiago, Dango, Wilson -4. Do you have to sell Rice? Is it the only way to get Thiago? Like, for example, if you can just do Krupi and Rice out for Thiago and, I don't know, Wilson, for example, then I would try and avoid taking the -4. So yeah, tough one. It depends on what the rest of your team looks like, because I do think Rice is fine. I think the fact that you have Krupi probably and Enzo probably suggests that you are a little light this game week. Is this something that could be resolved by simply doing, just do Enzo to Dango or Wilson, whichever one is your favourite of the two, and then would that give you a strong enough squad? And then you kind of have to judge, okay, how badly do you want Thiago right away? If you do really want him really badly, then maybe take the -4. But if you feel you can just do Enzo to Dango, play Rice, because I think Rice is perfectly playable this week, and then your team still looks fairly strong, Great. Bench Croupy. Bob's your uncle. What do you make of the Man City versus Real Madrid UCL draw? Possible, still small upset to blank game week 31 planning. Yeah, so it definitely increases the chances of the Man City fixture going back into game week 31. So yeah, first Man City are going to have to lose. Then we're going to have to depend on, the Premier League actually having the desire to move that fixture back into game week 31. And then thirdly, we're going to have to kind of depend on the Premier League getting that organised with enough kind of in enough advanced time to make it kind of viable for fans and stuff. So yeah, very possible. Very possible. Also depends what the dates are for Man City's fixtures around that as well. Because it would go. So they play on Saturday at 3. So okay, the game would be played probably on Thursday in game week just before game week 32. You would have thought there is a nightmare scenario where we don't even know about the game. The game isn't even confirmed until after the game week 30 deadline, but surely that's not going to happen. Surely not. Surely at that point they just move the game week 32 deadline backwards, which they don't do, but I think they would make an exception. We'll see. But yeah, it's certainly increased the chances. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. What else we got here? Jake says, cheers, Dan. You're definitely the most underrated FPL content creator. Thank you so much, Jake. I appreciate that, my friend. Craig says, Bruno, Enzo, Wilson, Rice, and Anderson in midfield. Thinking of doing Enzo to Mbermo and Rice to Dango. Should I just bench Enzo and roll? Why not just do Enzo to Dango and play Rice? Rice is fine. I think Rice can score just as well as Mbermo this week. I don't think there's a huge amount between Mbermo and Rice this game week. So I don't think that second transfer really is as worth it. For this week, anyway. So, yeah, personally, I think I would just do Enzo to Dango. It's a really obvious transfer this week, isn't it? Enzo to Dango, Enzo to Wilson. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. Mohammed says, any updates on Verts? Also, keep up the great work. I will always keep up the great work, Mohammed. Or at least try my best. Update on Verts is that he is pretty much ruled out for game week 28. Slot said basically he's out and we don't know when he's going to be back. We genuinely don't know when he's going to be back. So that to me is a little worrying. And I think you kind of have to prepare for Verts being out, not just for game week 28, but also for game week 29. So we got a second chat in a similar vein here from Mafon, who says, Dan, I just found out that Verts is injured. Do I play Anderson or move him on to Anderson and upgrade Creepy to Hugo -4 or move him to Wilson/Sobo? It's kind of up to you. Would I take a -4? If I could fix it in one transfer, I would possibly do that, but it's tough. I'd like to keep the money to do Creepy to Hugo later, but although would I? I don't know. Maybe the simple solution is just to move into one of Wilson or Soboslai, whichever one is your favorite, and then you could always buy him back later if you want to, rather than taking hits and stuff. Maybe that's the most simple solution. To be honest, what exactly is a super chat? It is where you press the special magical button in the chat, which looks like a rectangle with a $sign on, and you can click the super chat button, and you can make your message stand out. Wow, amazing. And depending on how much you put in, will impact I think how long your message is visible for, I believe. But yeah, all super chat messages I try and answer in as much detail as I reasonably can. And yeah, they really do help support the channel. But be aware, if you go on the lowest amount of money, for some reason it doesn't let you put a message. I don't really know why. I think it's more of just a tip. But if you put the light blue tier or above, you can add a message, which is the super chat. There you go. There you go. No Liverpool attacker then. I mean, Buffon, if you want to get Szoboszlai, if you want to cover your Liverpool attack, then you could always do it that way. But ideally, you would have a Liverpool attacker, but without Florian Wirtz, I think the Liverpool attack is damaged anyway. If you really do want to take the -4 to get Ekitike and you feel that would solve problems later down the line, then absolutely go for it. Absolutely go for it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the -4 either. It's just like I don't know. Let's try and recommend the simplest solution first. Los Hobitos says, I bet Salah will score 1 and 1 this week. Palmer will score a penalty and my Thiago captain will score a goal and get a yellow card. But don't own Salah and sold Palmer. Could have gotten Salah, but went with Ekitike. That's a lot of negativity, man. There's a lot of negativity, man. Come on, let's get some positivity up in here. Things can still go very brilliantly and amazingly. Everything can go amazingly. I mean, you are taking a bit of a risk with the Thiago captain, but as a Thiago owner, I will be hoping for his success. Zers with a super chat here says Hall to Virgil or Rice to Dango for free or roll. Hall I would keep. Rice to Dango I think is optional. I think it does improve your team, but not by like a groundbreaking amount. I don't think, but yeah, it certainly improves your team. So you can definitely roll that. I don't think I do Hall to Virgil though. I don't think. Unless I really did love the rest of my team. In which case, maybe. But I think Hall in 28 and 31, I like. To the extent, I actually had a little look at Hall today as well as a potential buy for myself. How confident are you in your Haaland over Fernandes captain? I am. I mean, I'm comfortable. I'm not like feeling uncomfy about it. So I like it. Sid Fisher says, if money isn't a problem now, sell Garner or Enzo. Still Enzo. Palmer screwed my triple captain, so I got angry. Fair enough. Yeah. You know what? The amount of messages I received saying, you are such an idiot for captaining Timber. He didn't, triple captaining Timber. He didn't score points, which means it was a bad decision. Are we applying the same logic to Palmer in 27? Surely not. Like, they were both good shouts. Neither of them worked out. But the Timber one worked out more. But yeah, look, it's FPL. It's a luck-based game. You can make good decisions without necessarily having good results. It happens all the time. Did you talk about the new fixture changes? What is that? What are the new fixture changes? I've been streaming for the past hour and a half. I don't know. So I know not of any fixture changes. What's gone on there then? Is this something I need to be looking up? Or is this just the Champions League games? They announced new changes to Gameweek 30. Really? What changes would there be to Gameweek 30? Is there? What's happening at Gameweek 30? We've got UCL in the midweek. Honestly, I don't know what you mean. What could even happen in Gameweek 30? Because there's so many teams playing in Europe there. And there's no fixtures to move into there, really. I can't see anything on Twitter. Super chat from Propinor says Chalobah, Richards, Timber, Gabriel, 2 plays, 2 bench. I'm going to say play your Arsenal defenders, bench your not Arsenal defenders. Oh, minimal changes to the game times. Oh, is it? Although saying that, is it anything interesting? Have we got like a Friday fixture or something? Is there anything like that going on? What have we got? What are the changes interesting? Or have they moved like the early kickoff to the late or something like that? Oh yeah, they have. Oh yes, okay. They've moved at the 12:30 to 8 p.m. Oh cool. That is interesting. That is interesting at the very least. You know, what fixture was early? Was it West Ham Man City? It would have been. Are you saying some games have moved to Friday? I don't think they have. In 30. I think they've just moved to 12:30 to 8, which is West Ham versus Man City, which is bad because that means you're not gonna get a team news basically. I think maybe previously people might have earmarked West Ham versus Man City early kickoff in game week 30 as a game where potentially we might get early team news, which might help us make, judgment calls on players like Semenyo or O'Reilly or indeed Haaland as well. But it looks like that is going to be more difficult with that fixture being played in the evening now. Arsenal fixture moved. It could be the Arsenal fixture actually. Unless that game was already at 8 p.m. Nah. That's moved there. And Arsenal have also moved from 3 to 5:30. Have both moved? I don't know. Maybe I should look it up. Hang on. Was it announced by the Premier League? I'm having a look. Arsenal was 2 p.m. Sunday. Oh, okay. Yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense. This makes a lot of sense. So they move things around a fair amount. Yeah, so they move Man City, West Ham, Man City, and Arsenal, Everton. Got ya. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense because otherwise we were looking at, Premier League teams having very short breaks between games, annoyingly. Right, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It helps for FPL, I think, as well. Because we can be a little bit more confident on the minutes of players who are in the Champions League games. Cool. Is Dango a risk for back-to-back game weeks, having only done 90 for the past 3 of 6? He was kind of slowly integrating back into the team, though. Dango is without a doubt first choice for this Brentford side. I think we are in need of a bench list. Cajon says, I have been asking questions for the past 20 minutes and you never answer my questions. Question mark. Thanks. Hug. Well, I answered that one. To be honest, and I will be completely honest with you, and I am now seeing a question. If someone writes an essay, unless it's a super chat, I usually try and skip past it. Questions that are like super, super specific to your team, like listing your entire team, giving 3 different transfer routes and asking my opinion on each of them. It's like we kind of have to make sure that the content is for everyone. And whilst, super chats, I'm always going to try and pay people back for helping support the channel. what have you. And I do appreciate all the support, even just regular chats and likes and what have you, and subs. If I gave kind of 5 minutes to everything in the chat, then it would eat up a lot of the stream time. So simple questions like bench Rice or Rodgers, I would say. Bench Rice, play Rodgers. Nice and simple. Which player would you prefer to transfer out? You know, Enzo or Rice? I might say transfer out Rice. So the simple questions, are quick to answer. Always very happy to try and help out because they're also relevant. Shorter questions are usually also relevant to more than one person as well. But regardless, we promised a bench list, and a bench list we shall deliver. We shall deliver, as we often do. Let me find the bench list first of all. Hopefully this is gonna. Actually, I need to clear out the bench list from last week and remove all the players. Cool. Ready to go. Now, before we start the bench list, I think we need to do our usual fixing of the Anderson situation. Mohammed's got a super chat here. It says Munoz, Vert, and Mane out for Alderete, a 7.5 million midfielder, and Thiago for -4. Why do we need to Alderete? I wouldn't buy Alderete. I wouldn't buy Alderete. Can you not go for a more expensive defender and just go for a cheaper midfielder? Because I also don't think you really need a 7.5 million midfielder, really. Does that even need 3 transfers? Why do you need to sell Munoz? Can you not do it for free? Just do Verts and Mane out for Thiago and a slightly cheaper midfielder? Maybe. Because if you can do, for example, if you can do Verts and Mane for Thiago and like Wilson or Dango, then I'd definitely just do that. Because Munoz is also maybe or not too bad for next week against is it Leeds next week for or is it Leeds the week after that for Crystal Palace? Let me have a look at their fixtures. Okay, so Spurs away next week. Munoz is playable, very playable. Leeds at home the following week. Munoz very playable. So I don't think you need to do that part of the move. Certainly not for Alderete. So just go for a cheaper midfielder. I would not be able to get anyone more than 5.8. Ryan of Bournemouth. Elliot Anderson of Forest. I think I'd rather do that. Or if you do want to take the -4, go for a Dango, go for a Wilson at 5.9, and do, instead of Alderete, do a Anderson at Fulham or a who else? Malik Chow maybe. Those are the 2 players that kind of spring to mind. Kanate, I don't know if it's affordable. Something like that. Right, anyway, with that said, let's get going with the bench list. So we need to differentiate our Andersons. Okay. There are 2 Andersons. So we have I need to think of a way to differentiate them. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. We've got the oh, hang on, what am I doing? Oh, I'm typing in the wrong chat. We've got the enigmatic Anderson. who is like, you never know when he's going to get the points. An absolute enigma. Looks like you should keep a clean sheet, but you don't. And then you've got the, I guess he's more like a passing Anderson. So you've got kind of the Joga Benito Anderson. Oh no, it doesn't fit on the line. It's kind of gone down into the next line. All right, in that case, let's just shorten that. And we can just change the passing Anderson, the Joga Benito Anderson, just to like J Anderson. And then I guess it makes sense to just do the kind of enigmatic Anderson can just be E Anderson. That way, let's just put a dot there just so we know, just to remind us that it's short for something. So you know it's short for a word rather than just the letter. And I think that probably makes it pretty obvious which Anderson is which. We've got Joga Benito Anderson, always passing, very important to the build-up of his team. Pass and go, beautiful football. And we've got the enigmatic Anderson, who you never know when he's going to show up and get the points. Sometimes he gets DEFCON, sometimes he doesn't. And then that's going to be a really, really easy way to differentiate the two of them. We've got a super chat here from Simon. Play 1, Rice, Richards, Mane, or Chalobah. Okay, let's put them in the chat. In the bench list. So I definitely put Richards below these guys. I think I put Mane rock bottomed. Or would I? Is that true? No, I'm going to put Mane above Richards. Chalobah here. Just do it first name dot surname. Nah, that's more confusing. That's so much more confusing. Because a lot of people don't know the first names of the players, so it's just going to confuse people. I think it's more simple if we just put in like a reminder kind of word, a buzzword that kind of reminds us of the player. Joga Benito Anderson and enigmatic Anderson. I think it makes more sense to do it like that. We don't like that one there. Sharp Shark says, yeah, I don't feel E. Anderson was the best choice there, Dan. Why? M and D. That's not their names, is it? If Anderson/Sen comments would give you money, you would be a millionaire already. True. I mean, like people just find it impossible to differentiate between the two names because, if I was to do this, if I was to just leave it like that, then how on earth would you be able to tell the difference between the two? Because they have identical names. Literally every single letter, if you go through every single letter of each of their names, they are identical. So we need to put in something to help us tell the difference. We literally have to. So that's why we've got Joga Benito Anderson making the pass and moves. And we've got the enigmatic Anderson. You never know when he's going to get the points. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. MOT, thank you very much for the super sticker there. I appreciate that, my friend. Dewsbury Hall on the bench list. People saying do the club names instead. Let me add Dewsbury Hall to the bench list first, and then we'll have a look at that. What I put? I'm going to put Dewsbury Hall ahead of Mane. Just do the club name. Well, we did that last week, and everyone was saying that was even more confusing. So we could like just if you want to describe the clubs instead, like National Fulham organization. So we could do the National Fulham organization for Joachim Anderson, and for Elliot Anderson, we can put Forest Ultimate losers because they lose a lot of games. So there we go. We've got the team names there instead. FPL says Lefay or Sarr both on pens playing away games. I would. Would I play Lefay ahead of Sarr? Lefay is only on pens if the other chap whose name escapes me is off the pitch. So I wouldn't say if Lefay is on pens, and Sarr isn't even guaranteed on pens either. So let's add these players into the bench list regardless. I don't love either, to be honest. I'm actually gonna put Enzo Lefay above though. How about Tavernier as a differential captain this week? Definitely not. I'd be too worried about his minutes. I'd be too worried about his minutes, so I'm not going to do that. Habib Diarra, thank you, Rob. That's the player I'm looking for. Yeah, if Habib Diarra is on the pitch, Lefay won't take the penalty. But that said, Enzo's now scored the last penalty, or last 2 penalties? Maybe not. Yeah. So, there we go. Just says Anderson and Anderson already have different surnames. This is more confusing. That's not what people say in the chat to me. People always ask me when I do the bench list which Anderson is which. So they can't have different names. They must have identical names. Like how much I get asked which Anderson is which. So this is why I help people out by adding some kind of cues there. Duncan says, pretty sure the O and the E are the wrong way around. No, they're not. This is the Anderson who plays for Forest. It's, there's the F in there stands for Forest. This is Elliot Anderson, who plays for the Forest Ultimate Losers. And there's Joachim Anderson, who plays for the National Fulham organisation. Really simple. Really simple. And we could do the other one. We could do... How else? I don't even know how else you'd differentiate them. Like, where are they from? So I could do like defensive midfielder, English, and a naughty pick. He's naughty. He's defensive midfielder. He's English. He's a naughty pick. And we could do the other Anderson, who is... Well, we mentioned that he was kind of enigmatic before, so we may as well use that one again. Enigmatic. Plays for his national team. And quite good. Anna Rude says, buy Dango, Shada, Sobo / Gakpo for Rice. Already have Thiago. I think all of those transfers are optional, but if I had to pick one, I would pick Dango. Just put Def behind Elliot's name to show he's the DEFCON master. Good point. DEFCON. And what does this one? He gets clean sheets. He gets clean sheets sometimes. It's kind of mid, really. That the Fulham Anderson's kind of mid. But Elliot Anderson, DEFCON beast. Really simple stuff. Right, we do need to add some more players in, and you guys need to stop messing around with this Anderson. And please stop telling me they're the wrong way around, because obviously I've explained in every situation what the letters stand for. Do people watch these streams with the volume off? What do you mean they're the other way around? How? Elliot Anderson gets DEFCON, so I put Def there. Joachim Anderson is kind of mid, so I put mid there. Come on, we need to be serious now. I want to put more players on the bench list. Come on now. What other players do I need to put in? Look at the lineups to find the right spelling. Are you advising other people to do that? I agree. Other people do need to look at the lineups to find the right spelling. I agree with you. Right. Thank you for these suggestions. Coming in hot. Creepy Jr. Really, really concerned about his minutes. To the extent I'm maybe going to drop him fairly low this week. I am just worried about those minutes, man. Rice. Declan Rice is a great suggestion. I'm going to put Rice betwixt the Andersons. What else? Who else? Enzo. Enzo's a pretty easy bench, I think. I think he'd go behind a lot of these guys. Cool. Jeremy says, this reminds me of the days with legendary NFL field goal kickers named Morton Anderson and Gary Anderson, who had also two players with identical surnames, clearly. Not Sarr over the Andersons? I don't think so. I'd play the Andersons. The Andersons. Chow, I'm going to put reasonably high. I'm going to put him here. Munoz can go a bit higher than Richards, but like not a huge amount. I'm going to put Munoz up here. And Jai can go something like there maybe. Well, to be honest, I'm actually going to drop these guys above Anderson. I'm going to remove these now. I think the fun is over. The fun's over. I do want to get serious at some point, but I'm not going to add any more visual cues. Or actually, I am. We're gonna passively aggressively highlight the penultimate letter in each name. We'll do them the same color, each one the same color, but hopefully, I don't know, that might kind of encourage some spot the difference. Let's call it that. We'll encourage a bit of spot the difference. Papu says, hey Dan, should I sell Verts or keep him? It depends. If you can cover him for 2 game weeks, I'm not saying he is going to be out for 2 game weeks, but if you, but you know, just for the sake of safety, if you can cover him with 2 game weeks, say you do have an Elliot Anderson in your squad, then yeah, I would be looking to I would be keeping him. What if people are colorblind? Not very inclusive of me. That's a very good point. Thank you for checking me. Thank you for checking my privilege. I appreciate that. I think that covers everything. But please tell me if I'm not being inclusive. I'm hoping that most colorblindness yellow isn't impacted. Certainly versus white. Most people with color blindness can tell the difference between yellow and white, as far as I'm aware. But in case I'm wrong, we always aim to be inclusive. Cole Palmer's a super interesting one, isn't it? I think, generally speaking, you would still be looking to play him in most cases. Most cases, I guess. He's a difficult bench, isn't he? Pretty difficult. Hill and Dango's definitely not going on the bench list because presumably if you've bought Dango, you're not going to bench him. But I can see some people are maybe wandering around Hill. I mean, Hill would probably be one of my favourite players this week to play. So much so, I'm actually gonna put him pretty high. Would I put him even higher than Elliot Anderson? Is that too far? People might be OE blind. Believe me, I've done streams, I've done bench lists, including both Andersons, enough to know that yes, there are a lot of people who are OE blind. But regardless, where's Senesi on list? A little bit lower than Hill. I don't trust him as much. I'd maybe even prefer Chow to Senesi at this point. Jake says Enzo to Dango or Wilson or anyone else, no wild card. I will say the same thing as I was kind of saying on the members stream last night, which was if you think you're going to get both, then get Dango first and Wilson later. But if you think looking at your squad, looking at your kind of transfer plans ahead, that you're probably only going to pick one of the two players, just pick Wilson. If you don't think you're going to get Dango, just go for Wilson. But yeah, again, there you go. On the colorblind thing, do one blue and one brown. That's the reason cable colors are those colors. Is that the reason why people have blue and brown eyes as well to be inclusive? I think that's why people decided to have blue and brown eyes for inclusivity sake. Like I've chosen to have brown eyes. My mother has blue eyes, so we're always inclusive between the two of us. Thank you for the super sticker video, Grafas Juosas. Huosas. Because I think that might be Spanish. Alderete. Alderete, Timber, these are good shouts. Alderete, Timber, O'Reilly. Okay. Alderete, Timber, O'Reilly. So let's start off with Alderete, who I'm going to put pretty low. Maybe here. O'Reilly and Timber. So O'Reilly, I feel you probably have to play, right? I'm going to put him here. I'm going to give Hill a boost as well. And then as for Timber, I'm going to give Timber a little bit of a drop down to here. Mohammed is back, says, okay, would go Munoz to Canate or to Anderson, so I can go Chalobah to Van Dijk next week. Hey, if that works for you, then go for it. I think if it means you could get Van Dijk next week, I'll probably choose Anderson over Canate. Yeah, because it just opens up that option to go Chalobah to Van Dijk next week, which I quite like. So yeah, that's what I would do. Neutral and live eyes. Exactly. Some people have got neutral, some people have got live eyes. I have neutral. That's right. Right? Brown is neutral, right? I feel like this is important information to know. Canate. Canate, I don't think it goes on the bench. I mean, again, Canate, you probably just bought him. If you did, one, he's a differential. Two, you're going to play him. You're just going to play him, aren't you? Right, Dubravka and Sanchez. I'm going to bring in full Arsenal bias and put Dubravka above Sanchez. But I'm going to put Raya here. I'm going to put Kelleher here. Who does Verbruggen play again? Verbruggen plays away, right, this week against someone. No, it's home against Forest. Therefore, Verbruggen needs to go pretty high. I'm going to put Verbruggen top. What about Collins? Ugh. I would not be happy about him. I would maybe put him here. Wilson, Dango are not going on the bench list. This is not a transfer tier list. This is a bench list. Stop trying to get me to praise your transfers. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. They're great transfers. Well done. Congratulations. You'll pick players who would go at the top of the bench list, and they would be players you would never even consider benching, which is great news. But it does unfortunately mean they don't really fit the criteria of the bench list to be included on the bench list. Steve says, promise it's not a transfer. You are genuine. So you've just bought Dango and you're genuinely thinking about benching him already. Is that, can you, hand on your heart, tell me that's the truth? Can you promise me? Joao Pedro. Good. Now that is a player for the bench list. I think given the form, you can't put him too low. I don't think. I think I'd be happy with him there. I think, would I? Yeah. No. No, I'm not. I'm going to drop him a little. I'm going to drop a few players a little. I'm dropping Yuri and Timber down a little. Okay. Yeah. Can we see your team? Show team gangs here. What's up? How long till deadline? 32 minutes. Cool. I got a little while to make my transfers, of which I am dreading. Taking a hit. I can't believe I'm taking a hit. I'm such a casual. A poor planner. I swear, Dango better go crazy this week. I need Dango to outscore Rice by 4 points. So I need Rice to blank, or, you know, to get no attacking returns. And I need Dango to get just honestly one attacking return, and I'm happy. I would be happy. You really play and Jai over Timber, mate. It's the penalties, isn't it? It's just, I think having those penalty takers, you always, even in a bad fixture, you always have that what if feeling, right? And even though Timber does have some of the best clean sheet odds this week, it's kind of the best of a bad bunch. So, cash, please. Cash I would play. Reasonably high. I'm going to put Concert there as well. Yeah. Mark Gahey. I'm going to put Mark Gahey a little bit lower than some of these guys. I'm going to put him maybe below Timber. Maybe something like that. I think that looks about right to me. Yes. Yes. A lot of people asking for Dango and Wilson. I mean, like, if you're desperate, fine. But, I mean, they're just going to go right at the top. Like, you don't... They're just eating up space in the bench list that could be used for other players who people are genuinely thinking about benching. Like, you're not going to bench either of these guys, more so than anyone else we've mentioned today. I just feel like I don't really need to be on this list. Really. Even Rodgers, like Rodgers you play as well. No way you'd bench any of these guys, like, realistically. I think we maybe leave the bench list for a minute. Unless you've got any goalkeeper dilemmas. Anyone got any more goalkeeper dilemmas? Have I missed them? Missed him? Would you play Haaland this week? Yeah, literally. This is what I'm saying. Hey guys, I'm thinking about benching Haaland and Gabriel. Should I bench Haaland and Gabriel this week? I promise you, I'm not trying to get you to rate my players. I just want you to tell me whether to bench them. Liars. You want me to praise your picks. Oh, little Dango. Well, my little Dango's at the top of the bench list. Oh, I'm such a clever and smart FPL manager. We all are clever and smart FPL managers. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. But yeah. If you have Dango, if you have Wilson, you have Rodgers. Like in 99% of cases, I think you're going to be playing these players, right? Nando Loris, Tarkovsky, great shout for the bench list because he's genuinely another player that some people might want to play, some people might want to keep. Sorry, some people might want to bench. So yeah, great shout. Tarkovsky is going to go reasonably low, but like I don't think crazy low. You'd maybe put him here. So in most cases, you'd bench him. But I think he is more playable than a lot of players. Would you take Ekitike or Thiago first? I'd take Thiago first. I'll take, yeah, pretty comfortably a yarn. Evan Nilsson. I'm not going to put Evan Nilsson on the bench list because he is such a differential. But I would probably place him reasonably high. Probably in the kind of Rice, Anderson, Hill area. We've got a great question in the chat. Which Anderson is which? I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. Maybe we can think of some abbreviations that might help differentiate the two Andersons, just to make it extra clear. That's a good idea, I think. What do you guys think? Should we do that? Should we maybe try and do that? Think of some ideas? No, never, no more. I'm done. I'm done. I'm sick of it. Never again. Oh, it's now a 10-minute mute for anyone who asks which Anderson is which. Oh, dearie me. Okay, right. Let's do some. Should we do some non-bench related questions for a few minutes, and then we'll come back to the bench list in like say 15 minutes. Let's do that. Sutton the backpack says, "I can't wait for the Fernandez abbreviation." Oh man, oh don't. It's a good job you rarely think about benching Bruno. Rayo or Petrovic? Petrovic is maybe a decent shout to go on the bench list. I think I'd put him here. JC says, "I'm so glad I don't have an Anderson in my team. All of this is very confusing." Current gang, I'm afraid not today, Matt. We're orange squash gang. But cheers regardless. Okay. I'm taking the bench list off screen for 5 minutes. We'll do some transfer related questions for a few minutes because we've done a lot of benching, and there still will be a few people who, bless their hearts, will still be panicking over transfers, and we've got to help them out. We've got to help our friends out. Joshua says, "Are you selling Collins?" Yes, I am. I am. I'm just really struggling to make my body physically take the hit because I really don't want to. I'm angry at the very thought of moving my hand towards the hit button. Like, it's infuriating. But alas, it's kind of got to be done. Well, does it have to be done? No, it doesn't have to be done. It's what I want to do. but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. If only I'd just gone early on this Collins to Virgil transfer like a good boy, we wouldn't be in this predicament in the first place. We'd be fine. I'd bench Enzo. Everything would be wonderful in all that is good with our life. But I'm going to take a risk. I've barely taken any risks this season. Well, I mean, look, compared to most seasons, I've taken less risks than usual. We got a chat from Kazi. He says Raya versus Dubravka, and why? Oh, definitely Raya. Definitely. It's a home game for Arsenal. Arsenal are kind of fixture proof defensively. We don't really see any super strong patterns in who Arsenal keep clean sheets against compared to a lot of the other teams who would have stronger patterns towards keeping clean sheets against weaker teams. Whereas Arsenal are pretty sporadic. They're kind of just as likely to concede one goal against a Wolves than they are to go and concede one goal to a Chelsea, for example. So yeah, it's Arsenal do have better clean sheet odds. The bookmakers much prefer an Arsenal clean sheet. I think Raya actually has a better opportunity for clean sheets against a Chelsea side that shoot quite a lot. Sorry, not clean sheets, for save points against a Chelsea side that shoot quite a lot. Whereas Brentford are more of a clinical side. A lot of the goals that they score are kind of from big chances rather than just peppering the goal kind of thing. So there's a few reasons. Hopefully that's a good explanation why I do prefer Raya to Dubravka. Some Backpacker says it's surely not worth a hit to get Django in for Enzo and play him over Hill, is it? Surely not. No, it's not. It's not. And if that was my predicament, I probably wouldn't do it. But yeah, unfortunately, my predicament is a little more complex. Oh, I need like, if any of you guys live within 20 minutes of me, can you come here and press this button for me so I don't have to do it? Because I'm really feel so uncomfy clicking this button. I mean, does anyone live in the Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire area of the UK, of England? If so, you could do me a real solid here by just getting this done for me. I've not taken a single hit this season, and this is not even an injury forced hit or anything. Ugh. Yeah, do it. They're saying get Milton to push the button. That's not the worst idea in the world. Oh, I live in Huntingdonshire, pal. I'll come and get it done for you. I used to live in St Neots. I don't know. Well, I'm presuming you know where that is if you live in Huntingdonshire. Oh, you know what? I've moved back to St Neots as well. Anyway, let's check out some other questions from you guys. Rice to Dango from -4. Nope. Luxury, not worth a -4. Gahey to O'Reilly, probably wouldn't. No, I don't think that's a super great use of that transfer. Yeah, a lot of my mates went to SKL in Sydney. It's so weird that you're from here. Been watching you for a while. There you go. Small world, my friend. Small world. Had a lot of friends. I have today a lot of friends who live in St Neots. Had a lot of friends who went to school in St Neots, and obviously lived in St Neots for a while as well. And I'm in St Neots fairly regularly. I think I was most recently in St Neots. I watched the Arsenal versus Brentford game the other week in St Neots. They're fairly regularly. Tommy says, Creepy or Pedro to Thiago or XTK for -4. Is it worth a -4? Creepy is worth the -4. Creepy is worth the -4. Pedro is not. If you can do Creepy to Thiago in a straight -4 transfer, I think I would do it. I'm pretty sure I would do it. Wouldn't be super happy about it, but I think I would do it. Can I see the bench list? Yes, very quickly though, because we had the bench list for so long, and we've only just begun the bench list break. We've been doing this for ages. So there you go, Max. Take a screenshot because it's going straight. Or pause the stream. Take a screenshot or pause the stream because it's going off the screen again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But it will be back and in greater numbers. More questions asking about Timber to Virgil for a -4. That is not a transfer I would personally do. It is not a transfer I would personally do. So I'm going to say no to that one on all counts. Calvert-Lewin's an interesting one. Did we include Calvert-Lewin on the bench list? We probably should. Good bench list player. Good bench list player. Not like Dango, Wilson, and I'm going to keep Rodgers. Didn't get your answer in Super Chat. I didn't see your question in Super Chat. I remember seeing your it come up, but there was no message attached. But let's see what you got here. Have Raya, Gabriel, and Timber. Should replace Timber with Alex Jimenez on my bench. Scary that Arsenal will concede. Yeah. I mean, yes, I think I would. Alex Jimenez, that's the Bournemouth right back, right? I didn't know his first name was Alex. Assuming it's the Bournemouth right back, who is he? I've not been keeping a super close eye on him, to be honest. Is he still? He's still playing regularly, right? He's not rotation risk or anything. Jimenez matches. He's still starting every game. Yeah, he is. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a consideration if you're worried about him and his. Sorry, if you're worried about triple Arsenal defense, then yeah. Sorry, I was reading another chat. Okay, do we have any news on Collins? There was never going to be any news on Collins. He's only ever going to start in a worst case scenario for Brentford where there are other players missing. And maybe Coyote is missing, but he's trained. So I'm not holding out a huge amount of hope for Collins this week, to be honest. Did many of your 100 experts bring Dango in? I can't remember. Have a look. We're going to do some FPL Mateception where we're going to watch FPL Mate videos. Oh, got to watch an ad. Forgot I don't have YouTube Premium on this account. But oh well. I guess we'll give myself some ad revenue. Amazing, really. We're watching 2 ads. Apparently. Great. You know what? I deserve it. I've earned this. I've earned the ad revenue for the hard work put into the 100 Experts video. There we go. Right. Yeah, he was the second top pick, right? Dango. Yes. So 40 brought in Virgil, 24 brought in, bringing in Dango, 20 bringing in Wilson. But technically, Wilson's going to be more popular than Dango. So I think, with these kind of transfers, you are in good company. Pretty good company. Where would you put Burma on the bench list? Above everyone that was on the bench list other than maybe Dango and Wilson. So really high. But you mentioned that Wilson was more owned before Dango. Yeah. What's your chip strategy? Right now, I'm expecting to do wildcard 32, bench boost 33, free hit 34, and I've already used my triple captain on Gabriel. People are calling and they're begging for a return of the bench list. Let me make my transfers first. Let me sort out my starting 11 and then. Oh, I hate that I'm taking a -4 so much. I'm fuming with myself. I mean, to be honest, I've seen a lot of your -4 suggestions. Selling Rice for Dango, selling Timber for for Virgil for hits. So I guess at least my hits are better than those hits, at least in my opinion. It's got to be done. Got to be done. Rice to the bench. We're locked. We're locked in. Don't get me wrong, I do love this team. I really do love this team. Now, for the next 4 game weeks now, I'm kind of sorted. All I need to do is wait till game week 31, do Rice to Wilson, and I'm laughing. I'll carry 2 free transfers into the wild card, as long as nothing goes wrong. And there we go. There we have it. Yeah, -4 is painful, man. -4 is not great. But it's a one-off. It's a one-off -4. I won't do it again. I've not done it. I feel like I've been very good this season. I've been very well behaved with no hits. So there we go. We're gonna do it that way. Why not captaining Bruno? I just think Haaland's a slightly better captain this week. I like the matchup. Right, the much and many requests of the bench list. The prayers must be answered. So there is the bench list back on screen again for you guys. I said I was going to put Calvert-Lewin on there. And I will. I just don't know where. Above Palmer, right? Now I'm not super convinced by Palmer there. Yeah. I'm more comfortable with that. That little change, I think, has made a difference. Remember, the bench list is never final until the final. The final whistle blows. That's when we knows. What to do with Chalobah? But I have Virgil, Gabriel, and Hill. Just play Virgil, Gabriel, and Hill and bench Chalobah, I would say. Where to put Evan Nilsson? I would put Evan Nilsson on this list. I'd put him around just above Calvert-Lewin. Around Senesi and Chow, I think. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe more like near Rice. Near Rice. What are your thoughts about Van Hecker? I mean, I typically play Van Hecker if I had him. I think he'd probably go in the kind of cash concert area, you would probably say. Why is Rice on your bench? Because I have a lot of good players, unfortunately, and someone's got to be benched. Someone has to be benched. Where does Ryan sit on your bench list? Below Dango and Wilson, right at the top, where he shouldn't be, because he's not really a player I'd be benching. Would you start Munoz ahead of Alderete, even against double United attack? Yes, I would. I'm pretty sure, because you get attacking threat from him as well. Remember, so there's strings to his bow, so to speak. I need to do a screenshot of my team and get ready to post it for deadline. I'll post that after deadline. You guys know my team. Best differential captain, please. Is Bruno differential enough for you? I think maybe Igor Thiago. Thoughts on Alex Scott, Dan? Yeah, good pundit. Was a great fullback for Arsenal over the years, and for England as well. And I do enjoy her punditry. I think she's got a lot of good stuff to say. As for the Bournemouth's Alex Scott, just a kind of He's another Garner, isn't he? He's like Garner, but with more rotation risk and less DEFCON. So not super keen on the pick. Not super keen. Like, kind of meh. But, like, nothing intrinsically wrong with him as a pick. Just nothing really right either. Rodon. Rodon can go fairly low on. He's a low on, rolled on. And someone said Ruffs as well. Did you get to the bottom of the Gameweek 30 fixture changes? Yeah, it's just like Arsenal have been moved from Sunday to Saturday, and Man City have been moved from early to late on Saturday. That's all. Which is, I guess, good for captaincy, because now there's no early kickoff to for Gandhi to ruin our game weeks anymore, which is nice. Have you tried using fizzy water instead of tap water in squash? It's actually really cool. I tried it. Do you mean like soda water? Or sparkling water? Either way, that sounds vile. That sounds awful. I mean, I'd maybe be willing to try it, but that does not sound great. That does not sound great. There's lots of people asking for Van Hecker. I didn't realize how many people had Van Hecker. I don't know where I put him. Somewhere in the middle. Like, no, below Cash and Concert. Probably below Dewsbury Hall. Maybe here? I don't know. Rice is so much better than Anderson. You say so. I mean, I prefer Anderson. My preference. I saw O'Reilly in London on Tuesday and asked him to score another goal, and he said he'd try. Good. Good. I mean, I hope he doesn't. I hope he fails, to be honest, because he's not in my FPL team. You're not happy with that where Van Hecker is? I honestly don't know where to place him. I spend so little. I don't really. I'll be honest. I've barely watched Brighton this season. I know Van Hecker barely shows up very high on any metrics. Whenever I watch Brighton play, they seem to be a bang average defense who don't really get defensive contributions. So what is there to like about Van Hecker? He's got some okay fixtures. He's got an okay fixture this week. So he can go, average defense, average DEFCON potential, okay fixture. Slap bang in the middle, right? Makes the most sense to me. Garner can go. I'm going to put Garner above Dewsbury Hall. I'm going to put him above Cash and Concert, actually. I might even bump Cash and Concert down just to keep these Everton boys together. Van Hecker's getting a brace, trust. Okay. If you say so. Kobe Mainu. Why do so many people have Kobe Mainu in their team? I would probably put him somewhere, I don't know. Put him right next to Van Hecker. There you go. Xhaka can go right next to Van Hecker as well. Any other suggestions? We'll put them right next to Van Hecker. They don't really fit on the list anymore, but start Sanchez or Dubravka. Close one, but Dubravka over Sanchez. But you're asking an Arsenal fan, so be aware there may be some bias included in that one. Would you get Konate instead of Van Dijk for a differential? Only if you absolutely could not afford to get Konate, and you cannot afford to get Virgil, and you don't really value the difference between the two players. In that case, I would get Konate. There you go. Did you take the hit? Yes, I did. I did. Gabriel and Pickford on the list. Right. Gabriel, you're taking the mick now. You got to be taking the mick. Best defender in the whole game. No way. As for Pickford, somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle for me. Saliba, shove him next to Timber. We're not putting any more players on the bench list anymore. Like, we're getting to a point where a lot of these players are either differentials or players who, quite frankly, shouldn't even be on this list. So, no more. No more now. Sorry, apologies. You're going to have to make do with what we've got. Unfortunately. A lot of people asking some goalkeeper questions. A lot of them are answered by the bench list already. Yes, if it says it on the bench list, that is my opinion. We don't know how long Wirtz is out for. We don't know. The manager doesn't know. Enzo to Wilson for a hit. Only if you can't, you have no one else to field this week. What should I do? I'm going to get a screenshot, Dango. What changes did I make? I made the double change that I said I would, to be honest. I was truthful. I was honest. Yeah, I made the exact -4 I said I was going to do. Sorry, I'm just trying to take a screenshot of my team so I can post it on social media in a moment. When the deadline passes. Oh, I might just post it now, to be honest. Need to send this actual screenshot to my phone. Right, that sounded like a super chat to me. Who's your captain? My captain is Haaland. We'll put my team on screen now. We are too late for the bench list. It's time for the show team gang to get what they deserve. Because the show team gang, I can see they're getting agitated. I can see them getting agitated. I can see them getting a bit twitchy. I need to see the moves. Any final questions with 30 seconds left? Hi, team, please. Yeah, right. I'm captaining Rice just because you benched him. I don't know how I feel about that. Wildcard team. Yeah, I think we've got a few seconds left till deadline. I don't know about that one. Jago brace last time. Yeah, let's see if we can do it again. Right, well, guys, it looks like we're going to be locked in. Looks like we're locked in. Getting ready to post a tweet. I appreciate this is terrible viewing. Right, thank you for the content. You're welcome. Thanks for the good mood. I hope there was good mood. I hope there was good moods around. Thanks for this, Dan. So now we have a big enough sample size for the season. What are your thoughts on DEF CON? Do you think it's improved the game? I really like it. I've really enjoyed the DEF CON update. I know some people are not super keen on it, and made the game more boring or whatever. But honestly, like, it's any additional thing to cheer for in the game of FPL, if you're engaged enough, is a good thing. And I don't think the DEF CON thing is complicated enough to take away from those who maybe aren't as interested. And people say it's shrunk the player pool. No, it hasn't at all. The thing that shrunk the player pool, or players that you can possibly pick from, is the fact that none of the attackers are doing anything. You know, we've not got a Salah scoring 200 points by game week 15. We've not got, you know, plenty of attacking midfielders and wingers and Sackers and Palmers scoring game after game. We've not got Rodgers absolutely killing it. You know, we've got basically, you know, Acuna at Wolves and Burma at Brentford, etc., Whisper at Brentford. There's just less players scoring goals than getting assists because football is more boring right now. It's more regimented, and most of the goals are coming from, well, a lot of the goals are just coming from centre backs randomly scoring at set pieces. So I think it's increased the player pool in a season where we would be screwed if it wasn't for DEF CON. If there was no DEF CON this season, like, I can't even think of what players I'd be picking for my FPL team. Like, who would you even pick? There's so few players actually scoring goals, scoring points. Player pool hasn't shrunk. Look at the midfield discourse this week. Yeah, but like, this has only just started this week. It has, for the majority of the season, it had shrunk. The forwards has undoubtedly shrunk to a minute amount of players. But yeah, I think that definitely we're seeing more options. We're seeing more options, which is good in a season where I don't think we'd have that many options if not. So I think it's a real good thing. Right. Captain O'Reilly, because why not? I think a few people will captain O'Reilly, and I know exactly why people will captain O'Reilly is because he scored the most points last game week. How bothered are we about the team news? Because I'm actually meant to be going to my mother's house for dinner tonight, and I wouldn't mind having a quick shower before I go because I've been sat in this hot room, small room, wearing a football shirt with LED lights shining on me for the past God knows how long. So I think maybe we wrap things up slightly early today rather than wait for team news because it's one game, it's a boring game. I'm not at all invested in this game. The craziest thing that could happen is maybe Watkins doesn't start, and how many people honestly have Watkins at this point? So I think we're going to call it there, guys. To be honest, and LED lights shouldn't kick up much heat, but like, it's bright and there's just a lot of tech in here. Like, it's just hot. there's just a lot of stuff in here. Lots of material, lots of football shirts, lots of soundproofing, lots of electric things going on around me. Small room. So there we go. Right, yes, I'm gonna have a shower now. I'm gonna leave the house. I'm probably not gonna watch the football tonight, to be honest. I'll catch up tomorrow. I'm gonna watch everything tomorrow, though. I'm excited for tomorrow's games. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back on Sunday for Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid. I think it's going to go out on Sunday, potentially. So we'll do Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid on Sunday. Probably late. If not, it'll be early on Monday. And then we'll fit team selection and 100 experts in before the deadline. We'll put it that way. We'll try and fit everything in. So, guys, thank you so much. Cheers. Take care. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.